So I started out as a chemist, and I started out as a material scientist, and then I moved into engineering. After I left the university, I went on to work in the industry for over 20 years. So I worked making semiconductor chips, and I had two of my own businesses, and I worked for international companies. So I did a lot of different things, and then came back to teach at Cal Poly. So I kind of have a broad range of experiences. And I would describe myself as, first of all, a Christian, second of all, a scientist, third of all, an engineer. And I think that combination is pretty interesting and exciting. When I was sitting where you are today, I was really challenged because I had come from a very traditional Christian home, Presbyterian, conservative, and did everything, went to all the vacation Bible school and church. And when I hit college and suddenly I had to defend my faith to my colleagues and others and professors who in science aren't exactly always real supportive of being a Christian, it was challenging. So this topic is very near and dear to my heart, and I've studied it for a lot of years because in my world there's a lot of people who kind of feel if you're a scientist and an engineer, you can't be a Christian. Those two are mutually exclusive. And I'm like, no, actually those two to me are amazingly supportive of each other. But I suppose it all depends on your point of view. And so the origin of life is sort of, it's right at the crux for me about, did life occur through naturalistic processes, or did it occur through supernatural, through God, through creation? So I'm just going to share some of my thoughts and information that I've accumulated over the years as I've looked at this topic, and then hopefully we'll have a conversation around that. So the question in my mind is, why 4.5 billion years? And to start with, I know one of the questions was, what is life? So if this is the origin of life, what is life? And I'm going to keep it simple, but if you just go out and look at a basic biology definition, it's a system that can reproduce, that generates enough energy to do work, metabolism, and demonstrates homeostasis. That means it can control its internal environment in response to an external environment. So that's it. So that could be a single cell, and that could be me. It could be different systems. And we used to think single cells were pretty simple systems. But I think today, for those of you who study biology, even a single cell is an amazingly complicated system. So that's what is life. So then I thought, well, where do we go to find out the definition of anything? What's our go-to source of all knowledge? The Bible. Wikipedia. Right? So I looked up Wikipedia just last night. Wikipedia. The origin of life is a scientific problem which is not yet solved. The earliest claimed life forms are fossilized microorganisms found in iron and silica-rich rocks, which were once hydrothermal vents in the greenstone belt of Quebec, Canada. These rocks are as old as 4.28 billion years. And if this is the oldest record of life on Earth, it suggests a, quote, almost instantaneous emergence of life after oceans formed 4.4 billion years ago. This was published in Nature, March 2, 2017. This is not a Christian journal, this is Nature. So the origin of life, by scientific definition, is not yet solved. It is still a mystery. So that makes me think, okay, this is an interesting area where I could think about what might the origin of life be, and I think the two explanations that are most prevalent out there are a naturalistic approach, right? This is what you heard Carl saying, and this is the naturalistic approach. So random natural events over a long period of time lead to the formation of life. I take more of a supernatural approach. So I think an intelligent designer, because I see a lot of design as an engineer in the universe, a creator, if you call that God, prepared the earth for life. That life is the product of divine creative activity. Right? So those are the two big battles out there. One sort of leads to evolution, one sort of leads more to design, and there's lots of fighting about all those words mean and how people interpret all those things. But those are kind of the two big camps. Another interesting tidbit of fact. So back 2003, doesn't seem that long ago to me. It's a while for you, maybe. I was at a technical conference, nothing to do with Christianity, technical conference on aerospace, because I used to work in electronics for aerospace. And at an evening, one of the speakers offered a little session he was going to present on, is there life somewhere else in the universe? Everybody likes to talk about that subject. And his name was Don Meyer, Dr. Don Meyer. And he went on from Aerospace Corporation. He was an atheist, made that clear right up front. He went on to explain through the Drake equation, it's called, which is an equation that's been developed by scientists. It says, what's the probability of life in the universe? And they go through this long equation of how many stars there are, 10 to the 22. By the way, that's how many atoms there are in cubic centimeter of any metal. 10 to the 22. I'm a materials engineer, right? I got to keep these little things. And let's assume they all have a planet, and et cetera, and went on and on. And at the end, it said, you know, the probability of life on a planet in the universe is 1 in 10 to the 282 power. Now, that's a number that I can't even imagine. This is an atheist. So his conclusion was, there's zero probability of life on any planet in the universe. Why do we exist? So I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. So here's an atheist who questions, did life just sort of spontaneously evolve out of the universe? I understand last time you talked about the universe, right, and how it began. So lots of interesting information there. There are 4 areas that I think really lend towards more of a supernatural God, creator, intelligent designer of the universe. And I'm going to share just those 4 quickly with you and then kind of walk you through why 4.5 billion years. I'm thinking about that. We're going to come back to that. The first one is the anthropic principle. You probably might have heard this last time talking about the universe. The anthropic principle is, once again, not a Christian principle. It's a principle developed by scientists all over the world. It has to do with the fine-tuning of parameters in order for a planet like Earth, particularly Earth, to support life. And I'm a big fan of Hugh Ross, who's going to come here and speak in a while. I've known Hugh since a long time. He and I go way back when he was still a astrophysicist at Cal Poly, and I was doing some work at Caltech, so I got to meet him. He wrote a book called The Fingerprint of God, and he's going on with his organization and other scientists to come up with all these parameters and list them. There's 322 parameters that have to be finely tuned in order for life to exist on Earth. And the statistical probability of all of those occurring is 1 in 10 to the 282. Exact same number. 2 different guys, one at Caltech, one at aerospace, decades apart, don't even know each other, come up with the same probability. By the way, physicists and statisticians, if you ask them, anything greater than 10 to the 50th probability is considered impossible. As we would think of it. Well, I'm a quantum chemist sometimes, so it's impossible. There is a probability that all the molecules in the desk could move to that end of the room all at once. You can calculate it. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm confident I can sit here and not fall off the cliff. So I would say that says that, you know, the probability of all these things randomly happening for us to have a planet like Earth to support life, it's hard to believe from a naturalistic kind of random process point of view. Things like we're in the habitable zone, you know, how far we are away from the sun. By the way, if we were 93 million miles from the sun, if we move 5% closer, all the oceans in the world would rise. If we move 5% further away, all the oceans would freeze. So it's a very tight window we live in. The size of our moon, the distance it is from the Earth, control of seasons, the speed of the Earth's rotation, the brightness of the sun, the fact that we have a molten iron core is unusual. That core is doped with radioactive elements like thorium and uranium. By uranium is the largest naturally occurring atom in the universe. And we happen to have an unusually large percentage of uranium in the core, continuing to generate some molten core, which generates a magnetic field, which shields us from radiation, which would kill us all without it. So there's many of these, 322 that go on. The other parameter that I look at is what's called irreducible complexity. This is another term you might have heard. Michael Behe made this very popular back in 1996. He wrote a book, Darwin's Black Box. And it has to do with the fact that there are a number of things in the biological world that we look at that can be reduced down to a simple number of components, but those components themselves could not randomly form on their own. They have to all come together all at the same time in order to have a system that operates. Example, ribosomes make proteins, but ribosomes are made of proteins. So proteins can't be formed without ribosomes, but ribosomes can't be made without proteins. So where did the chicken and the egg? Where did it start? How do you solve that? Molecular motors in cells are very complicated systems. Homochirality, any chemists know what that means? So when we look at things like amino acids, right? Make up proteins, make up DNA, kind of the building blocks of a cell. Amino acids have mirror views of each other. They're called left-handed and right-handed. And in order for a living cell to be formed, all of the amino acids have to be left-handed. This is another problem with why they've never been able to create an origin of life. So when they look at Stanley Crick's work back early in the 1950s and 60s, the amino acids that are created in this sort of prebiotic soup are always random. They're a 50-50 mix. You have to have them all left-handed in order to create a living system. So once again, probability of that, 1 in 191. Not too good for random choices. Prebiotic soup, Stanley Miller, 1954. This has been a long time discussion of how you have this sort of sea of chemicals that somehow, under the right conditions, life forms. A single cell. And no one's really been able to prove that with all our scientific technology and knowledge today. One cell. By the way, there are 3.72 times 10 to the 13th cells in the human body. So we've got to somehow go from one cell to 10 to the 32 in order to make, or 10 to the 13th in order to make a human. All right, so those are some things that when you look at, study things about the origin of life, and you look at these are the issues that people talk about. There's books written on each one of them. And by the way, I have a handout here on all the books that I've enjoyed reading about the origin of life. And I also have some a list of Bible connections to creation, for those of you who want to look at it from a biblical point of view. But I'm going to talk more as a scientist. I'm not going to use the Bible. I'm not going to get into Genesis and discussing all the 6 days, 7 days of creation and going through that. Just going to look at the facts. I'm a scientist. I believe in the facts. I also believe, as a Christian, God reveals himself to us through his word and through the natural world that he's created. We should be able to see God. We should have evidence of God. We should be compelled to want to know who he is just by looking at the natural world. So as a scientist, I feel if we study the natural world, his fingerprint on either. 4.47 billion years ago, close to 4.5, the Earth was formed. The Moon was formed 4.37 billion. At that time, the Earth was pretty much a molten ball of liquid rock. It went through what's called the late heavy bombardment, where a lot of asteroids and other interstellar material that was still left over from the formation of the planets and the sun were continuing to bombard the Earth, and there was no life as we could find it in the biological system at that time. That's 3.9 billion. 3.86 would say on Big Bang, there were several extinction events, and we can see it, the rocks. So scientists, geologists, they can see the evidence of life in the rocks. And all these Australia, Canada, two parts of the world where there are rocks that they can get to, that they can be dated back to that period. They see single cell life suddenly appear. There were several more extermination events in that period. Life would disappear in the sediment layers, and then 2 million years later, boom, appears again. That's kind of interesting. The oceans were formed 3.8 billion years ago. A stable water cycle was established. As soon as the oceans were formed and a stable water cycle was set up, more life appeared. Multicellular life appeared in the ocean. We find these through carbon-12 dating of kerogen deposits in Greenland, as an example. And these are all taken out of technical journal articles, not Christian opinions. These are technical scientific articles. By the way, the minimum genome for a simple bacteria is 1,500 genes and 250 proteins. And we still have to figure out how to make a single amino acid form into a protein, but somehow 1,500 genes, which are composed of hundreds of amino acids, appeared suddenly in the geological record. Land masses started to form. The Earth was cooling. Solid land masses started to form. The oxygen level in the atmosphere went from being around 1% from 4.5 to 2 billion years ago to suddenly increase to 20%. That had a lot to do with algae in the ocean, photosynthesis. Suddenly we had enough oxygen to support mammals, more complex multicellular organisms. And lo and behold, immediately, more complex multicellular organisms appeared, mostly in the oceans at this time. Land masses were still pretty unstable. We didn't even have the continents we have today. We go all the way down to 543 million years ago is the Cambrian explosion. Who's heard of the Cambrian explosion? Right, so that's a fancy term scientists like to use. It's a time when suddenly a large majority of the species that are present today formed here. That's what they call an explosion of life. These were mostly invertebrates, animals that don't have a backbone or a skeleton, fish and jellyfish and lots of things mostly in the ocean. Some species on land. As soon as that occurred, 425 million years ago, land plants suddenly appeared. And it takes, by the way, exactly that, 3.3 billion years, which is from the duration of the formation of the Earth, the land parents appearing. I don't know about you, but my wife tries to plant things, they need soil. Originally it was just rock. So it takes exactly that long, with geologists can tell us, for plate tectonics and erosion and all the processes that occur to grind up rocks, silica, into soil and create enough soil for plants to grow. So amazingly, just as the Earth got to the point where there was enough soil for plants to grow, suddenly in the geological record, hundreds plants appear. That's kind of nice. Around 225 million years ago, we had the supercontinent, Pangea. It was the original continent that then split up into the continents we have today. It took until 65 million years ago for those continents to break up and start moving apart. During that time, there were 8 mass extinction events that are characterized in the scientific literature. They all have names. Several were due to common asteroid collisions. One was a change in our orbital position of the Earth. One was a slowing down of the spin rate of the Earth. One was a supernova event that happened nearby. In each extinction event, all the species that had existed before that time were wiped out. And amazingly, a few million years later, a whole new set of species came back. That's kind of interesting. Then we get to 200 million years ago, and we have the dinosaurs. I think everybody loves dinosaurs. My grandson loves dinosaurs. The Triassic and the Jurassic periods, they were around for maybe 100 million years, a long time. And then 60 million years ago, asteroid collision, wiped out. Why would we have all those dinosaurs suddenly appear and wiped out? Well, I've seen the number. I think it's like 68% of the biomass that has formed coal, oil, and gas came from the fact that these dinosaurs, these large living creatures that had populated much of the continents and the plants, were instantaneously destroyed, killed, stopped living, and were compressed into turmoil and volcanoes and eruptions and things that happened due to this asteroid collision that buried them in the ground and provided enough pressure and time for them to be converted into coal, oil, and gas. That's been kind of handy for us. Right? So, kind of neat how that worked out. 40 million years ago, we had ice ages. So ice ages are very common on the planet. Been through a whole series of ice ages. Interestingly, right now, we are in the middle, in the optimum middle of an ice age. We're in an interglacial period, it's called, where for the last 10,000 years and the next 10,000 years, there's a low probability of us being in a ice age kind of environment. Now, global warming, I don't know, we can talk about that later, but just from geologically speaking, we are right in the optimum spot to be able to inhabit most of the planet. 2 million years ago, hominids appeared. Now, a lot of people freak out over the term hominids. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm an engineer. If I'm God, I'm going to keep designing things and reusing the parts that work and help improve my design so I get it where it's the ideal. Whether it's an ape or a hominid or a Neanderthal. By the way, all the genetic data shows that we as modern humans have no genetic connection to Neanderthals and hominids. A lot of discussion about that, but I can show you a number of technical articles written by non-Christians who agree that hominids and Neanderthals don't have a genetic link to modern humans. Why were they around? If you ever want to read a great book, read, what is it called, Dave? Guns, Germs, and Steel. And it's sort of a big worldview history book, and it helps you understand why the hominids helped prepare the continents so that when humans arrived, we didn't just kill off all the animals. Places like Australia, for example, don't naturally have any large mammals. Because the moment humans arrived, they killed them all off. Because the mammals have not learned to be afraid of humans. So that's an interesting theory here. Neanderthals, I don't want to get into human because I think we're going to talk about that next. But 50,000 years ago, I believe around there, modern humans appeared. The first time, creatures that had soul and a spirit. And nephesh animals, which is Hebrew, what the Bible uses for the animals that have a soul. You know, they have a will. My dog has a will. Very stubborn. You know, she's afraid at times. So, lots of reasons why I think modern humans appeared. It was kind of a unique time. All right, so I'm going to end there and just say, I had a hard time getting my head around 4.5 billion years. How big is that number? I just want to end by saying, I recalculated that if 1 second was 1 year, then 4.5 billion years ago was 150 years. We're here. We're right in the sweet spot. This is the birth of our sun, this will be the death of our sun. And we know the sun's going to die in 4.5 billion years. You're right in the sweet spot. And all of humanity has occurred, if I use this time scale of 1 year per second, we've been around for 3 minutes. So an amazing amount of time spent optimizing the planet for us. And I would say that most of this data points towards, in my mind, an intelligent designer rather than random acts. What do you think? There are ways to interpret what's written in Hebrew in the Bible to support 4.5 billion years, just as well as there are people who feel they can support 6,000 years, let's say, with the age of life. And it's a debate. It's a discussion. You know, I wouldn't want to disrespect either side. I'm dealing with scientists who believe in the geological record, and I'm trying to reach them to open their minds to the Bible and Christ. And if I say to them, no, just ignore the geological record, it's really 6,000 years old, I lose them. And they're like, well, then the Bible is just full of baloney, I don't want to hear about it. So I think there's a reason to look at both sides of that coin. You know, I'm personally more convinced that an old earth narrative fits very well in with the 6 days of creation in the Bible. We're in the 7th day of rest. And the word for day in the Bible, yom, is interpreted as long period of time. But it's a good debate, and you'll hear it, and you should think about that. And I wouldn't criticize anybody who believes one way or the other. As long as we all believe in Christ. Well,
so, say hypothetically, you do believe in the old Earth, or not old Earth, young Earth. How would you kind of reconcile that with your scientific colleagues?
you'd have a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen people try. I've been to a number of conferences that you and others have put on creation versus evolution. I've heard these debates for decades. I haven't been convinced myself as a scientist that I can reconcile that and explain the young Earth perspective. Some people feel they can. I'd let them explain that. I mean, some people feel, for example, that the Earth is made to look old, even though it really isn't. I don't believe God's out to trick us. I mean, he kind of, actually, the old Earth, it's so beautiful, and it so amazingly points to a creator who made all this happen in such a, and look at how much time was spent to prepare the Earth for us. Wow, this makes me feel even more special. Yeah, so I wouldn't disagree with it. I don't know what
Is Ken Brown the young Earth creationist?
Yeah.
If anybody wants any information on that perspective, Ken Brown is a really good person who's...
Ken Ham. Ken Ham.
Ken Ham.
Yeah.
Okay. He is like kind of the spokesperson for Young Earth, so if anybody really wants to look into that, he's good at saying what that
Check it out. Yeah, listen to what he has to say. And there's a lot of people. You know, once again, you Google this, you'll find YouTube videos from now to the end of time.
I have a clarification. When you were talking about extinctions,
Yes.
did that literally mean that there was no life left on Earth? Is that what extinction
Yeah, there's a variation. Some of the extinctions, they feel, at least all the species that they've been able to identify were wiped out.
Mhm.
Some of them, it's a matter of some percentage were left, 10%, 20%. So the events vary. It's not like everything always went away and came back. But what often happened was complete numbers of species, hundreds of species would go away. And then when life was found again, there'd be 100 new species. It wasn't like the same ones came back often. And so it's really intriguing as to how that went.
Yeah, so my question going off that is there a naturalistic argument that can reconcile all of life going away and then coming back as complex?
Yeah, I mean, the struggle you'll see in evolution, and I know you're all told that evolution is like proven scientific fact, on my bibliography here, I have 700 scientists who don't agree with that. I would find most people really involved in studying this field today know that evolution doesn't really explain things the way we've learned it in school. So they kind of come up with different explanations, you know. Suddenly life accelerated. And you say, well, why? Well, it just did, you know. And so, you know, we all have a certain amount of faith. We have to put in what we know and how we interpret that. So, no, there aren't good answers to that I have seen. And it's something we should continue to explore. There are people who try to explain how, you know, on a small scale evolution kind of occurred quicker than we thought. Because the old days it used to be, it took billions and billions of years, you know, for life to form, and then we went through all these. Another is interspecies. You know, there's always, well, we went from the moth to the, you know, the fish to the human. But a lot of the gaps in the record of how did it somehow go from a moth to a fish isn't there. So people still just say it did. You know, and scientists, you know, we're as capable as anybody else of just sort of creating philosophy and a hypothesis. And until it's proven, it's just a hypothesis. But I choose to not. It's far easier for me to believe that God could have just caused that creation. Question?
Yeah, so back in the several extinctions, do you think that like God created extinctions, so like created life and then like natural or boom, or was it just like something that happened? Like was it God making?
There's a reason for everything.
Like this, not a mistake, but was like part of the plan, to, like have life and then wipe it out, and then have more life and wipe that out.
Absolutely.
Eventually,
Absolutely. That's how we get the biodeposits today that we need for energy. That's how we get minerals in the ground. That's how you get bauxite for aluminum, iron for steel. There's plenty of scientific evidence that shows all of these extinction events and repopulation all have a purpose. They all fit together for a reason. None of them were a mistake or it didn't need to happen. You know. So to me, that's once again sort of wow. That's beautiful. And that's what I would expect God to have. It's an amazingly intricate pattern that, you know, would be hard for you to understand, but over time I've learned it demonstrates, you know, His purpose, His creation, which I think is for us. So nobody's asked, are there little green men out there? I don't believe so. I'm a believer that we're it. I could be totally wrong. What else?
So you're talking about having discussions, you know, with your coworkers and everything like that. What kind of advice would you give to us as we're, you know, engaging either with other Christians that maybe have very views or people that don't have a relationship with Jesus? How do you engage in this type of conversation?
Great question. So here's how I've done it over time. With Christians who are in young earth versus old earth, I really don't even go there into the conversation. I'm fine. I mean, we all believe in Christ, and as long as you do, there's a lot of ways to interpret the Bible. I don't feel that any of those are somehow jeopardizing, you know, our belief in fundamentals of the Scripture. So I don't really like to get into a lot of heated debate over that because I'm not trying to reach them. They're already the Lord. But my colleagues who are atheists, I want to engage. You know? I want to immediately let them know that I understand scientific and geological record. I think it actually points to a supernatural energy or God or whatever. You know, get them thinking about, yeah, is there intelligent design? Did all this just happen by chance, or is there a design? And of course, if there's a design, there's got to be a designer. And then we could have a debate about who the designer is. And then we can start discussing, well, do the facts in the Bible actually support scientific record? And if they do, I can now get them to believe in the Bible. And think the Bible is an accurate description of life on this planet. Because now you've got a chance to really bring them to know Christ. Right? I mean, that's where we want to go. We want to get people to think that there is a hope. We are here for a purpose. I feel sorry for my friends who are atheists who feel like this is it. When I die, I'm just a bunch of chemicals that drop in the ground. There's really no purpose for me to be here. I'm just a random result of things happening. And to me, that's doesn't bring a life of hope. I don't find a lot of us. I think it's that spirit within us that says, "Doing more." A life from that. So, reach out to your colleagues with this kind of information. Initiate conversations. If you're Christian friends, don't get into a fight over it. It's really not that, in a way, important. But some people get pretty upset. So then you just have to decide. There's a lot of things in the Bible that we disagree on. The Trinity, I think, is pretty foundational, but then there's pre-trib and post-trib and the tribulation period. You can fight over that. There's plenty of things to argue about in the Christian community. People, okay, but hey, that doesn't change who we believe. It doesn't change our salvation. Question? Hey.
You may have it on your resource guide, but is there like one book you'd recommend? You've read a lot of Hugh Ross's work, who's done a lot on, I best term, old Earth creationists or old universe creationists. Is there like one, kind of introductory work if people want a little bit more information from a Christian perspective, looking at Scripture, but an old universe?
15 on the list of them that I've read. They're all good. Chuck Colson writes a nice book that's on a not heavy science. The problem with Hugh is he's, like me, he's kind of a nerd, right? So his books get pretty heavy. Chuck Colson does a nice job. There are several books that do a nice job of gently discussing old and young Earth and not really making that a fight, but sort of, okay, there's different views, and then talks about it. So I would recommend his book, and I'll make, there's some handouts up here, there's not enough for everybody. So what I'll do is make them available to your club leader here in a PDF, and then you can distribute them. Pick any one on the list.
What's the Chuck Colson books called?
What's Colson's book called? Charles Colson and Nancy Piercy is Science and Evolution. If you really want a fun one, there's this one called, by Bruce Bickle and Stan Gans, called How It All Began. And it's kind of like one of those, you see the books that are the, what's it called? Something for Dummies. There's Everything for Dummies book. It's kind of written like that. And it's really a fun one. But it actually covers a lot of great concepts. It's pretty fun to read. I'll leave that. If you have questions, if this is something that, these are complicated stuff, come and see me for any time.